video series. Not always possible to get into one of our training seminars in California, so we created the Jumpstart Video Series, a distance learning tool for your entire staff. You're about to view one in a series of videotape presentations that are designed to assist you in transitioning your healthcare practice into the 21st century. The landscape is changing with new research showing the positive effects of supplementation and changes in diet that can dramatically alter the state of a person's health. The consuming public is well aware of these facts and is spending billions in alternative products and services. Where are you in this market? Are you able to answer the questions your patients ask? Do you feel comfortable with counseling your patients on natural products? Is your business thriving or just surviving, or worse? As a healthcare practitioner, you owe it to yourself and your patients to have the information in these tapes. The principals of the JAG Group have been providing solutions to healthcare practitioners' problems for over 25 years. We understand your business and the challenges you face. The company has structured its technology and support programs to assist you efficiently as you learn. Continuing education programs based on the internet and CD-ROM assist not only you, but also your staff. Don't forget about them. They are the key conduits to your patients. This tape series has been designed to provide efficient information, strategies and techniques that will make an immediate and positive impact to your practice. Topics to be covered in this continuing series include nutrition basics and counseling suggestions, building a healthy immune system, the benefits of intestinal health and detoxification, marketing your practice, merchandising and store design, counseling patients, implementing drug-nutrient depletion, addressing herb-drug interactions, specialty programs such as weight loss, aromatherapy, homeopathy, herbs, etc. We hope you will find the presentation informative and helpful. The JAG Group staff is here to help. We want to be your single source for all education relating to your natural practice. Let us know how we can assist you in growing your practice. We've got the solution. Welcome to Intestinal Integrity, nutritional intervention at the forefront of the body's battlefield. Our presenter in this program is Deborah Arneson. Deborah has a bachelor's degree in food science and biochemistry and a master's degree in counseling psychology. Deborah is a licensed clinical nutritionist in private practice in Chicago. She also regularly lectures for the JAG Group in its Jumpstart seminar series. Deborah has designed wellness programs for major corporations and is an accredited member of the American Preventive Medical Association. She hosts a cable TV show in the Chicagoland area and has created Heart Smart Kids, an educational series for children. We know that you'll find her presentations informative and useful in all areas of your practice. Now sit back and get ready for some extremely valuable information, and be sure to share this with all the members of your staff. Good health.
Intestinal integrity, nutritional intervention at the forefront of the body's battlefield. With constipation abounding, colon cancer rates rising in the U.S. today, and 50 to 60% of our lymphatic system located around our toxic colons, it is imperative to address GI function. This is another video in a continuing education series from the JAG Group designed to educate healthcare practitioners to better assess and address the basic causes of disease, as well as the functional healing modalities. GI function. Well, first of all, our GI function evolved as a defensive barrier against external environmental pathogens. It also provides protection for other systems, and our GI tract is a major reservoir for billions of healthy and unhealthy bacteria which coat the intestinal walls. We also look at our GI tract as the corral for transportation of nutrients as well as lipids. Our GI tract helps to filter and eliminate unhealthy bacteria, toxins, chemicals, and wastes. It also absorbs nutrients as well as water and nourishes billions of cells in the body with life-supporting nutrients through proper digestion and enzymatic transaction. A healthy colon evacuates 16 to 20 plus inches of stool daily. If flattened out, the GI lumen is the size of an entire tennis court. 50 to 60% of the body's lymphoid tissue surrounds your digestive tract, and the lymphatic tissue in the GI tract serves as signal cells for immune responses. We have problems oftentimes, and where there is impaired host resistance, we see edema, ulcerations, inflammation, patchy necrosis, colitis, constipation, diarrhea, diverticulitis, and autointoxication. This causes increased oxidative stress to the system as a whole, and this is shown most often by microbial infections, parasitic invasions, allergies and asthma, autoimmune response problems, inflammatory disorders, proliferation of yeast, as well as fungal organisms. So what has caused the conflict? Well, our food supply, environment, and medicines have drastically changed in the last century. The last major change to the diet was the transformation of society from hunter-gatherer to agricultural. Human evolution is not keeping pace, meaning the rate of fertility, chronic fatigue syndrome, and environmental sensitivities. In essence, the trouble is medication abuse and overuse, aspirin and antacid abuse, alcohol abuse, overconsumption of raw foods, low water intake, low fiber intake, and dead food diets. High-stress lifestyles also contribute to the issue. Multiple vitamin and mineral deficiencies, genetically engineered foods, which can be very hazardous to one's health, food sensitivities as well, such as sensitivities to dairy, gluten, lectins, and legumes, degenerating pH balance, and if we don't have a balanced pH, we'll see that most people don't have their first line of defense against microbiotic invasions and parasitic invasions, and degenerating or ill-formed flora formation. Now let's look at bacterial warfare. Well, when we have GI warfare going on, we have numerous warring parties battling for dominance in the intestinal battlefield. We have the balance of power within the system which can be compromised, creating a domino effect as the battle rages into immunological territory and transportation to our brain nutrients. Let's talk about the combatants in conflict. Well, our friendly flora can become refugees, which are displaced bifidobacteria and lactobacillus. Invaders such as viruses, bacteria, yeast, and don't forget the parasites can also become combatant. And the mercenaries with no loyalty at all would be the antibiotic regimes that we abuse our bodies with. Let's talk about the friendly flora as well. Well, there are 100 trillion in the large bowel alone. The friendly flora help to synthesize vitamins and degrade pathogens. They help to convert fiber to short-chain fatty acids, which nourishes our bowel cells and provides energy to the system. They also help to maintain intestinal permeability, which absorbs nutrients and seals out rhizomic activity and pathogens. Also, our friendly flora helps to keep our good yeast and our bad yeast in place. Let's look at the enemies. There are many bacterial bad boys. We have, first of all, Salmonella, Clostridium perfringens, Staphylococcus proteus, and these then create bacterial enzymes that create ammonia and other toxins that tax our liver and create adjunct disorders. We can't forget about the viral elements, which increase our risk for Epstein-Barr and Crohn's disease associations. There are also parasites, and parasites are more common in the U.S. than you can imagine. You don't have to leave the country to get them. There are two types that are predominant, worms and protozoa. Both wreak havoc on the immune system function. They cause allergic reactions, internal bleeding, as well as diarrhea. These are the most prevalent in irritable bowel patients, and they damage the intestines, and they can take months and months to repair, creating chronic fatigue syndrome in most people. The origins of fungal conflict are many, but abnormal yeast growth is prompted by antibiotic abuse and imbalanced estrogen activity, both of which increase mucosal release. This then causes the flora to become lost and the inability of bile to break down sugars, which causes intestinal congestion as well as gas. The mucus protection is diminished, creating a lack of nutrient absorption, which increases fermentation, prompting the onset of a leaky gut. The battle lines are drawn because congestion of food through the intestines creates an acidic reaction in an alkaline environment. This encourages pro-oxygen bacterial growth, which thrive on sugar, creating a battle with the healthy bacteria. The pH disruption favors unfriendly bacteria, releasing rhizomes, which root in intracellular bunkers, thereby creating unhealthy permeability, which increases mucosa and yeast. The bad bacteria invade. They cause widespread inflammation, autoimmune intoxication, and an invitation for parasitic invasion. Let's follow the course of food in the system. Stomach transaction includes pH balancing through hydrochloric acid and proteolytic enzyme usage. These are needed primarily for the degradation of proteins. Proteins take 20 to 40 minutes from the stomach to the small intestine. In the small intestine, chemicals trigger pancreatic bile to emulsify fats with cholesterol. This takes approximately 70 to 90 minutes. The breakdown of polysaccharides into monosaccharides form bioavailable sugars through the villi, which is part of our cell's mucosa. The large intestine admits digested and partially digested foods, alternating an acidic and alkaline environment to complete our digestive process. Then we continue with enzymatic action to break down proteins and fats through the release of lipases and proteases, which are enzymes. The alkaline environments of the small intestine assist in turning polysaccharides to monosaccharides. The disruption or inability to complete digestion creates an environment for putrefaction. The formation of unhealthy compounds increases carcinogenic plaque activity and the proliferation of yeast movement throughout your intestines. The side effects of flora imbalance are many. First of all, we have to look at our intestinal tract. This increases yeast of all kinds, but particularly Candida. It also tends to increase leaky gut syndrome if our flora is imbalanced, as well as colitis, Crohn's disease, chronic fatigue, celiac disease, and food sensitivities and allergies. Other side effects would be cellular disruption, impaired immune system function, lipid transport and depletion problems, as well as hepatic, circulatory, and behavioral problems. The chronic candida situations also increase the pathway or the bridge created by rhizomes which allow yeast to enter our bloodstream. Allergies are most often triggered by yeast. Yeast enters the bloodstream, travels, and competes for food sources in the body. This increases frequent topical infections, vaginitis, thrush, nail fungus, fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Candida also causes energy disruption, unequal distribution of blood sugar, often resulting in hypoglycemia or reduced adrenal function. Candida also compromises mucosal function in the ears, which creates a good environment for infection. Phosphoglycolipid activity is reduced as well, creating membrane permeability and lack of nutrients for ATP production. Let's look at the problems associated with the overgrowth of yeast in the body. First of all, newborns may be infected by their mothers in the birthing process. Pantethine is necessary for growth of healthy flora, and this tends to be inadequate in most modern-day nursing moms. Lowered immunity in newborns results in antibiotic regimes, thereby increasing yeast once again. Association of immunological disruption creates an environment for allergies and consequently ADD or hyperactivity in kids. The support for a Candida cleanse would include a low sugar and low yeast diet, increasing essential fatty acids, especially the omega-3s and the omega-6s, pantethine and glutathione for healthy flora overgrowth and fiber as well as water, and the consumption of Lactobacillus acidophilus and pantethine. From allergies to lowered immune response, intestinal problems, fungal overgrowth, Candida is an insidious problem. Knowledge of diet and detox programs may improve greatly the patient's ability to suppress the overgrowth of yeast in the body. Let's look at irritable bowel issues. In cases of large bowel or diseases of the colon, look to possible allergens and excess saturated fatty acid consumption. Fiber and water are the best treatment modalities. Avoid seeds, nuts, alcohol, spices, coffee, and high sugar grains. Make sure the patient is supplementing with vitamin A, C, zinc, essential fatty acids, and also perhaps primrose, aloe, peppermint, and ginger. Stress reduction management is suggested. Leaky gut syndrome. Well, it could be a source of autoimmune disorders. It also creates intestinal permeability problems, which allows for passage of food particles, bacteria, and microorganisms. The immune system creates antibodies and has to recognize bacterial proteins versus human proteins and can fool the body into attacking itself. Dead bacteria float into the system and lodge in the joints and may often be associated with rheumatoid arthritis. Crohn's disease and colitis are autoimmune disorders and inflammatory responses at the other end of the intestinal spectrum. These are closely associated with gut health. Steroid therapy, primarily prednisone, is one of the current treatment options for inflammation. The most notable side effect is pH disruption, ulcerations, and suppressed immunity. One of the best solutions is juicing and enzyme therapy, as well as consumption of water and soluble fiber. So what do we do with these unhealthy colons? Well, first of all, the 4 R's are the plan of attack. We remove the offenders, so take out the perpetrators, replace the missing components in the diet, which would be hydrochloric acid, enzymes, and bile, reinoculate with friendly bacteria, growth factors, and phospholipids, and repair with essential fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. Intestinal support nutrients. Water is number one. It helps to carry toxins out of the system. Amino acids are imperative as well. They are the building blocks for all the cells in the body. Proteins and amino acids help to catalyze and regulate enzymes as well as hormones. They regulate water balance. They maintain proper intestinal pH. They assist in nutrient exchange in the lymph system, and they increase bowel cellularity, such as glutamine. They also help to decrease the growth of aggressive bacteria. The probiotic helpers help to reinoculate by creating friendly bacteria. They also help to strengthen immunological cells surrounding the GI tract by strengthening lymphocytes, which serve as signal cells in the immune response in the intestines. The flora enhancers would be growth factors such as lactoperoxidase, lactoferrin, pantethine, glutamine, and arginine. These help to stop intestinal deterioration. They also help to establish proper pH with the flora in the body. They repopulate flora activity and reinoculate the mucosal wall. Fructooligosaccharides, known as FOS, bifidum bacteria, and pantethine starve unhealthy bacteria and aid in short-chain fatty acid production. EFAs are vital. They are one of the most important nutrient groups to give to an unhealthy colon or small intestine. They help to restore healthy mucosal tissue, they assist in lymph drainage, they bolster immunity greatly, they lubricate the small intestines, and they assist minerals and proteins in enzyme transactions. Let's cover lipid enhancers. Well, soy phosphoglycolipids repair our cells and encase nutrients for delivery, modify ATP, and energy. Linoleic acid and linolenic acid, high in the omega-3 fatty acids, are important in neurological function, frontal lobe nutrition, nourishment of all cells, and mitochondria action. Saponins bind with low-density lipoproteins, which are plaque-forming molecules, creating indigestible compounds for elimination. So what are our goals here? First of all, we want to put in as much healthy bacteria, which completes digestion, increasing short-chain fatty acid production, which is up to 10% of the body's energy source. We also need to look at glycolipids, which repair intestinal cellular walls, generating nutrient uptake as well as delivery. We also want to bind up our plaque so it is eliminated with the saponins. And the reinoculation of growth factors will assure continued friendly bacterial overgrowth. The intestinal support products are varied. We have enzymes number 1, probiotics number 2, fiber, along with detoxification, and don't forget our essential fatty acids and water. Regarding current supplemental technology, it's important to note that most supplements are tableted using digestible plastics and stearates. These are heavily saturated fats and waxes, therefore very difficult for many people to break down. Please research your vendor product quality carefully. In closing, it is in this series our goal to bring tools and information to improve the quality of life for you and your patients. So, may you and your patients experience a happy, healthy intestinal tract. As you can see, it is very important to perform at least some level of analyses on your patient's diet, lifestyle, as well as stressors. One of the best ways to assist you here is by using the JAG Group's NutriPlus product. This software tool enables you to provide important information and a valuable service. Through NutriPlus, you can analyze food intake for quantity as well as quality and provide detailed reports that help your patients manage their diet more effectively. If you aren't aware of this product, I would encourage you to speak to your account representative about how it can help your practice.